Okay, Taurus, you guys are up. This is your general reading for December 2019 for Taurus, Sun, Moon, and Rising. All right, let's see. Oh, what do we have going on for Taurus for December 2019? I knew this card was going to come up. I saw it when I was shuffling in my mind. Ooh, okay, Taurus. Hi, Kathy. Your husband is a Taurus. Awesome. Oh, I love Taurus. I'm a Taurus too. Okay, so Taurus, at the center of whatever you have going on this month in December, it has to do with the lovers. So love, relationships with others, romantic relationships, your own inner relationship with yourself and your own inner masculine and feminine energies. Interestingly for me, my year card for 2019 was the lovers. So this is kind of interesting, kind of coming full circle, at least for me anyways. And I guess that, brings me to the realization that I should be doing some year cards in some new videos coming up because we're starting a new year soon. At the end of this month, we'll be in a new year. So we can go through and do everyone's year card as well. So I'm completing the year of the lovers and I'm a Taurus. But for all of you Tauruses, the lovers is at the center of whatever is going on in December for you guys. And this is the card I saw in my mind as I was shuffling. And I knew it was coming up. And I thought to myself, like, oh, I don't want that card. And here it is. So this indicates that you have come a long way, but you still have a ways to go. And that's likely related to relationships. Could also be related to whatever, like your own, connection with yourself and your inner masculine and feminine energies. Also, you've come a long way and you still have a ways to go with, and this month is going to be big for this anyways, astrologically. So you've got some help with this, Taurus, because this is frustrating. Especially for Taurus who can tend to get stuck in a rut at times because you're the immovable bull. So you've come a long ways and you still have a ways to go with your relationships with others and with yourself. And in the area of what you put in is what you get out. So you've come a long way in realizing where you need to put your attention, how much effort and attention, work you need to put into something in order to get the outcome that you're hoping for. But there's still a little bit of a ways to go with that. And that probably has to do with time management for a lot of Tauruses. And that's okay, right? The good news is you've come a long way. You still have a little bit of a ways to go. And astrologically, you're going to be helped with that. And that's because today, as of this morning, Jupiter, the planet of expansion, that whatever it touches gets bigger and grows, moved out of the sign of Sagittarius and into the sign of Capricorn today. So Jupiter in Capricorn today, where it will be for a while, definitely the whole month, but for a while, quite some time, a year-ish, has to do with, so Capricorn is the sign that's willing to do the work, willing to put in the work to get the result that they're looking for, right? So Jupiter in Capricorn has to do with starting today, Taurus, this is astrologically helping you with this current situation of how far you've come and a little bit more of where you need to go with realizing what you are willing to put the work into to accomplish what it is that you want to accomplish, and also where you're not willing to put work into certain things that you don't want to actually have to deal with or do or to have in your life, right? Like realizing where you want to put the work in is huge, but then also realizing where you need to stop focusing your attention on things that may be taking away from what it is that you actually want to achieve, like to free up some time to put in the energy and the work where you actually want to be putting it so that you can reap what you sow in the areas where you want to, rather than reaping what you sow in the areas where you may feel obligation or lack of motivation, right? Because even lack of motivation or feeling stuck or stubborn in a certain area will render an outcome probably not the one you want. So noticing where it is that you do want to put the work in to obtain the outcome you want, and noticing where you no longer should be spending your time. Because that's not the outcome that you want, right? And then also where you're willing to put work into changing something, and where you're no longer interested in having to try and change something, right? Because some things we can change and some things we can't. So recognizing the things that we cannot change is important, and then it frees up the time for us to put the effort into the things that we can change, and then have more of an outcome that we do really want to manifest in that area of our lives. Okay, so here's another thing. So you are learning about things as you go, and for different people this may manifest in different ways, but there's an indication here that a lot of you Tauruses may be learning a lot about relationships recently and probably throughout the month of December. So learning about it as you go, trial and error kind of things with relationships. And I'll be back for Pisces. Jenny. Okay, so Pisces, Jenny might be tomorrow. Hopefully tomorrow, unless, things go awry, then it might be the next day. But Pisces is the last sign. So I love you, Jenny. Thanks for watching. And I will definitely have Pisces done tomorrow or the next day. Okay, so Taurus, you're learning about things as you go, and in relation to relationships. And so whether you're in a committed romantic relationship with somebody or not, or you're just dating, or you're on again, off again with people, you're learning about things through trial and error, and testing it and seeing how it goes and finding out what does and doesn't work. And again, this applies to realizing where you do want to put your energy into things to make something work or not work, or change or not change, right? And realizing what you can and cannot change, and then shifting your energy into putting your energy into the things that you can change, right? So this is all a period of learning about it all as you go, and trial and error and all of this stuff. So there's also this indication here of, and again, this is going to manifest differently for different Tauruses, but this indicates like a feeling of sorrow and sadness and loss and grief, and feeling incredibly disconnected and lonely. Feeling alone, feeling like you've lost something. So for some people, this may be like a feeling of sadness about people who you have lost in your life that you've loved, whether it was romantic love or different kind of love. That may be coming up. Again, that's kind of common to happen during the holidays anyways, but this is showing up specifically for you guys, and probably because there just is this energy of dealing with love, relationships, and all kinds of different love, right? So for some of you, there may have been recent breakups, there may have been recent loss of loved ones, there may have been separation, like just, from work, like travel, whatever, and feeling that sadness of not having that person there. But it doesn't necessarily mean that everything's lost. And we'll pull some more cards to get more information on that as well. Where do I start? Okay. So when we go back to what I was saying before, where you've come a long way, but you still have a ways to go with realizing where you want to put your energy into certain things, to try and obtain the outcome that you want, right? To reap what you sow. In that area, there's this indication of this feeling of conflict, internal conflict and external conflict. And so this manifests in different ways for different people, but shows up with the energy of I'm being pulled in too many directions, right? The external conflict is these are the things I know I need to get done today. And these are all of the things that pulled me away from that, right? And this is, again, time management kind of issues and realizing and focusing on what you want to put your energy into to achieve the outcome that you want to achieve. And again, there's this tricky thing because you kind of feel like you have to do it all to a large degree. And when you're being pulled from something, having to make a decision in that moment, what do I do? Do I finish what I needed to get done today? Or do I tend to this other fire that's like calling for my attention right now? Which one is more pressing? Which one can I put on the back burner until, an hour from now or 2 hours from now or tomorrow or next week or whatever? But that's a lot of energy and spinning your wheels that Taurus just feels like they don't have time for, right? And then the stubbornness kicks in and then you don't want to do anything at all. So that's the external conflict and the internal conflict that comes from having this struggle of where do I put my energy and effort into the things that I want to accomplish, because you kind of want to accomplish everything, but you can't always accomplish everything. So prioritizing can be kind of difficult sometimes. But again, this is an indication that you've come a long way in doing this, so you're getting better at it, and there's still a ways to go, and that's okay. Okay, so back to this side. So back to this where you're feeling kind of sadness and alone and lonely, and maybe like a sense of separation or loss, either way. So, oh, Taurus, you guys are like amazing at being both, right? Whenever there's two opposite things, you have this amazing, strange way of being able to feel and do and be both at the same time. So where it comes to feeling lonely and sad and sorrow and grief and all of these things, you there's this indication that there's something that you're holding on to very tightly that is reaffirming the sadness, that is reaffirming the loneliness, right? And in order to move on from that, there's something that you need to let go of. It could be a thought, it could be a pattern, it could be a phrase, it could be an emotion, it could be a person, it could be a thing, it could be, a belonging of some sort. It could be anything, right? It could be, it's going to manifest differently for different people. But there's something that you're holding on to. It could be an ideal, right, of the way you wanted something to be. This is a big thing where when something doesn't go your way, you get pissed and crankopotamus. That's what I call my son when he gets cranky. Crankopotamus, right? Like huffy, like it didn't go the way I wanted, so fuck it all, right? Like, and then I'm gonna be sad and pouty and and lonely and bitch about it and cry about it and then hold on to that. Like, no, let's not do that anymore, right? That's a pattern, but it's not where we want to be putting our energy, right? Because when we put our energy into it, that's what we receive. We reap what we sow, and so we get loneliness when we do that, and we don't want that, right? So again, focusing on what you put into a situation is what you're going to get out of it. But this is so clear here that I feel like it's very possible because of so much that you have learned recently, especially related to relationships and dynamics and interactions between people and loneliness and sorrow and sadness and grief and things not going your way. I feel like it's very much possible for you to let go of whatever the thing it is for you that needs to be let go of in order to overcome this sorrow and sadness and grief and loneliness. And it is important, I will say, it is important to go through all of the stages of grieving whenever there's any kind of ending. And when I say any kind of ending, that includes something not going your way, right? Because that's an ending of the ideal that you had, an ending of the plan that you had, of what you wanted to happen, right? So you can grieve that and go through the stages of grieving, but then you have to move on, right? When it's time, when you've gone through all of the stages, which there's no time frame for. Um, everyone grieves differently, and that's okay, right? Because there is this indication of emotional progress, moving forward emotionally, and moving forward towards connection with family and loved ones and financial stability as well. So just because shit's not going your way doesn't mean it's going to be miserable forever. Does not mean that you have to hold on to that miserable feeling forever. You can allow yourself to go through the grieving process and move through it, okay? All right, what else do we have here? Sweet! Aries had the same card in the same spot right there. Oh, beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. Taurus, you guys have been through a lot of transformation as well. And again, I really had the feeling that whatever it is that needs to be let go of for you, you're going to do it and move forward emotionally. And this really, really indicates that, because this is getting all of your hopes and dreams and wishes fulfilled. Like, this is getting your desire, your needs met. This is gluttony. This is happiness. This is things going your way. So once you can let go of something not having gone your way, you can open up to the next thing going your way, right? Once you have this shift in whatever it is that needs to be shifted for you, which could be a mindset, could be an emotion, could be a physical thing, a way of doing things or something, could be all of the above. But once you make this shift and let go of whatever it is that you need to let go of, things really do start going your way. And this is the thing, just because we know how we want it to go, it could actually go better. It could actually go better. And there may be just a brief phase of it not going your way and being pissed that it didn't. But if you don't open up to something amazing coming in, then you're just going to shut it down, right? And again, that's not the reaping of what you want to be. This is not the sowing of what you want to reap, right? So again, huge mindset shift here. Okay. This is really, really great. So other energies operating in the situation. This is so beautiful and speaks to your transformation, Taurus, because you can be so stubborn and immovable. Being open and flexible, you can do at times, but you need certain things to feel safe in order to be open to this, right? And so really working on creating that safety for yourself and only allowing people in your life that contribute to that safety and don't threaten it has really, really helped you transform so much. And this is what we have here, is you stepping into your authentic, genuine self, your inner authority that is just so precious and so powerful in such a gentle way, in a natural, gentle, powerful way, where you can just sort of, instead of having to be stubborn or force something or whatever, you can just show up as you are and work your magic kind of thing. So that's the energy operating here. And again, this is related to whatever internal and external conflict comes from you being stressed out about, where am I going to put my energy here, right? So stopping putting your energy towards the things that don't reap good rewards is huge, right? And that's part of the transformation that you're making. And I love this too, because another energy operating in the situation is finding balance between all of these things, right? Finding balance between things going your way and not going your way. Finding balance between where you're going to place your energy, what you can change, what you can't change, what you want to create, and how much effort you need to put into that, as opposed to other things that are pulling at your attention. Finding balance between all of these things is one of the energies operating in the situation. Now, for some of you, this could also indicate legal situations. So there may be some legal situations that are coming up. And if so, this indicates that they're going to go your way, right? But they're going to go your way if you don't go in like a bull in a china shop, right? They're going to go your way when you show up and you show up with the energy of calm, cool, collected, your own inner authority, like you know what you know, and this is where you put your energy kind of thing. Stable, right? As opposed to bull in the china shop and pissed off. Okay. Yeah, awesome. Cool. Okay, so again, all of this transformation that you're making about, you know, where you're putting your energy, what you need to let go of, in order to like have things go your way, to get your needs met. All of these things are contributing to how you communicate with other people, specifically with a lover or a loved one, how you communicate with them about what your needs are, right? So it's important to communicate what your needs are and how they can be met in order for people to help you with that if they're able to, right? And then you can find out who is and isn't able to contribute to that, right? By communicating. So communication is definitely improving through this, and communication is improving through this in the way that it lets you know who can and can't be there for you in the ways that you need. And for some of you, it looks like there may be, again, some type of separation. So this is going to manifest differently for different people. For some, it may manifest as a divorce, as a breakup, as a separation, as, you know, cutting certain people out of your life. And again, at the end of this month, on Christmas Day, for those of us that are Central Time Zone and backwards, it's on Christmas Day. For those of you Eastern Time Zone and forward, it's going to be the next day because it's after midnight, is the solar eclipse at the end of the month. And a solar eclipse can sometimes, in certain cases for certain people, which I would say is likely the case here because we've got the divorce card next to the strength card, which is the sun. So, and we have this solar eclipse. A solar eclipse at times, and we have the King of Pentacles right next to it. So for a lot of Tauruses, there's probably going to be a situation towards the end of the month. It can happen at any time during the month, either way, but on the 25th or the 26th is, depending on where you are, is when the solar eclipse happens. And during a solar eclipse, there tends to sometimes be a situation where it takes a male out of your life, right? So either there's a divorce from a loved one, or a separation, or, you know, it could be a boss that you're, you know, who's just a prominent figure in your life, right? There doesn't have to be anything weird going on there, but a prominent male figure in your life, which could be a boss as well. Maybe he quits or retires or whatever, but, you know, the male, the sun, gets eclipsed, right? And we kind of even have this as an eclipse right here, the sun, divorce, male, right here. So so there may be like a prominent male figure in your life that ends up either leaving in some way, or they're like they're no longer fulfilling the role that they were in your life, right? Or you're not having as frequent contact with them or something. Okay, so ultimately, overall, this is a lot of physical accomplishments for you. A lot of physical accomplishments for shifting your energy and where you want to put it, where you can and can't change things, getting your needs met, letting go of things, moving forward emotionally, finding balance, connecting to your true inner authentic self, and that gentle force within you that helps you find balance in all of these areas. And again, reconciling this like feeling of loneliness or sadness in romantic relationships. It's all a lot of physical accomplishments for you. But I think overall, December is still going to be a pretty good month for most people. Okay, let's see. Boy. 72 names of God card for Taurus, Sun, Moon, and Rising. Circuitry. This name helps me to receive when I share and to share when I receive. I can see the opportunity that sharing gives me, and I am aware that when I receive with the right consciousness, I am also sharing. This is the circuitry of life. When I connect to it, I move out of that black hole and into the light. Out of this sorrow and sadness and grief and into forward emotion progress. So again, circuitry, finding where you really want to put your energy into something so that you get the return that you want, right? Okay, let's go for romance cards. Romance cards for Taurus, Sun, Moon, and Rising. Oof. Okay, keep going. Interesting, it comes right back to the very beginning where we have the Lovers. So past life relationship, you have known each other before. So whoever you may be dealing with in relation to this Lovers card, there's a high possibility that you have had past lives together, and whatever you're working through right now is likely related to resolving the karma between you guys that happened in a previous life. Okay, and I feel like you probably feel that already anyways. Okay, so there you have it, Taurus. Thank you so much for watching. Please share this with any other Taurus that you know. Comment, ask questions, whatever, and you can always schedule an individual reading with me by clicking the link to my calendar. And I will see you guys soon. Love you guys.